Greetings, Earthlings. Welcome back to my channel, the Only Lauren channel. I am the Lauren of this channel, the hostess with the mostest, your daily Lauren. Give me my daily Lauren so that I can live and drink and eat and sleep and stuff. So today's lecture is on what the F is an Anglo-Saxon exactly, in my theory on Caucasian synthesis. So in today's lecture in particular, we're going to address what is an Anglo-Saxon exactly and Caucasian synthesis. So one of the first things we'll be addressing is the history of the Caucasian Anglo-Saxon people. Then we're going to dive into the etymology of Anglo, Caucasian, and synthetic. Then we're going to talk about our final conclusion in this Angolite discovery. I have been sitting on this information for about 2 years now. I got to take one hand off and just say 2 years now, and I had to give you guys this discovery and let you know something. Say something, say something. So of course you didn't know, I know you didn't know, I didn't know, if I didn't know, I know you didn't, that the Anglo-Saxons were a cultural group that invaded the England back in the day. Back in the day, I was a kid, I'm not a kid anymore. They inhabited what we now know as England by a Germanic tribe known as the Angles. Now pay attention to this. From the peninsula of Anglia. Now the etymology of the word Anglo means angle, to fish with a hook, related to anglu, hack, and the Pi root anklu, meaning to bend, sharing the same root word origin with the word Anglo, which angle, noun meaning space or difference between intersecting lines, point or direction one approaches something. And I don't know if you remember from your note and from my previous videos that the LE and the EL used to be switched around, or at times they have been switched around when it comes to the evolution of language. Now I think I should give an example, but I can't think of one. I will write one in the description or in the comment section. When asked about their origin from the surrounding tribes, it is unknown. Basically, no one knows where they came from. Aliens. So let's find out where the Caucasoids came from. It is said that they are from King Angul of Angels, or angels. And not much was written on him when I went to go look up the information. When you look up the word origin of the word Sax, it comes from the late Latin 14th century Saxons. When you look at the word Sax, it comes from the late Latin Saxonum, Old Norse meaning knife, short sword, dag meaning to cut. So 2 and 1, also both meaning cutting. Related words are bisect, dissect, hack, saw, jig, saw, intersect, saw, section, and segment. This is why when they traveled the world for the first time, it caused major disruption to the world's peace. They took whole parts, cut it into pieces, like pieces. And this was amongst all peoples. They basically ripped people from their way of life, their cultures, and their families. Disturbing the peace is in the Caucasian nature. And those are the people who emerged from what we now know today as the country Great Britain, Britannia. And just to be clear, these are not the same people to the south of the Mediterranean who are also had their hands in colonization. But those are French, Spanish, or the Eastern European peoples like in Latvia or Poland, Gypsies, or even Scandinavia, the Nordic people to the north. Y'all nigga from the Nile, but it ain't got no mind. So what is a Caucasian? A California Asian. All Asians that are in California are California Asians. So a Caucasian is from the word origin stemming from the Caucasus Mountains. It's a mountain range between the Black and Caspian Sea with the base root ka meaning mountain. Pretty simple. So basically it is historically accounted that Alexander the Great built a great barrier in the Caucasus to keep the uncivilized barbarians from invading into the south. All the stuff that he set up for his people, okay? And these people were associated with Gog and Magog. And just to touch on Gog and Magog just a little bit, for those of you who are not familiar, in the Bible and Islamic texts, it is identified with unclean nation who engaged in cannibalism. Also, people of Yajuj and Majuj who do great mischief on this earth. Sound familiar? I think it does. And also, Gog Magog is the name of the legendary British giant. So, duh, they named it after Gog Magog. So the gates of Alexander, as the story goes on, were meant to keep the Scythians, also the other name, in their cave and out of the rest of humanity. And basically, you guys know what happens when someone is feeling ostracized and left out. They relentlessly attack. And this lines up with a little bit before the time the Saxons, officially the Saxons, emerged. So I'm going to get into one more etymology and historical fact, and then we'll get into our theory of Caucasian synthesis. I looked into the etymology of the word anger because it sounds like angel. And I was also remembering that from one of my references that somewhere in history the letters L and R used to be the same, or R or L, or vice versa, as old people would say. And anger means to irritate, annoy, vex, provoke, distress, to take offense with. From the root ang, A-G-H, A-N-G-H, meaning tight, painfully constricted. All forms of angst, anxious, quinsy, with hypothetical evidence of its existence from the Latin angirem, which means to throttle and torment. And since they sound the same and have the same meaning, I don't see why it would be so hypothetical. But you know, whatever. Facts and papers. Also, there's a city called Anger in the province of Anjou, Angel, Angle, Anger, who was newer to the scene after the Anglos arrived, relating the word back to angel, anger, angle. I have often said for many years that Caucasoids must have had some type of help when conquering the world, because when they began colonizing, they didn't leave one stone unturned. Not one. Every country in Africa, it's like so freaking hot in Africa, like your scalp will get burned from the sun. Every little island in the South Pacific, like every tiny little island you came across and you stumbled across, and it's only a few of you guys. Greenland, Iceland, such arbitrary pieces of land mass, and yet you found it. How? Just seems highly improbable without some type of help. Just like the monkey who types on the keyboard, the probability is something like infinity that he would randomly type the lyrics to William Shakespeare's plays. The thing is, they are completely harmonious in their psychology, in the fact that they'll never turn on each other for you. They're like ants, colonies, ants. They'll, no matter how much they hate each other, they'll gang up to take you out. You, us. They will get you to fight each other or distract you with a major event while something else is taking place. Another psychological tactic is the tactic of self-appointed authority. I have crowned myself, henceforth I am king over you, henceforth you must do what I say. Because look, I have a piece of paper and I have many proofs to prove what I say is accurate. Basically removing the innate sense of self and identity that says, hey, I have human rights and I know my human rights. And there could have been like some form of electromagnetism as far as magnetizing how objects attract each other, but I don't know, it just seems highly improbable. I believe that something happened in those mountains. Those people talked to some type of supernatural entity, call it Satan or whatever you want to call it. When they got locked up by Alexander the Great, they said, I'm taking my revenge. I'm coming down from those mountains. They had a plan and they executed it. The more they saw how good people were living without them, the more it angered them. It'd be like that though. And somewhere in their DNA, in the collective consciousness or possibly unconsciousness, but they might be conscious of it, they will never stop causing confusion as long as it pertains to them getting their way and keeping power and control. It doesn't matter that it harms other people on earth, they feel justified, so henceforth they won't stop. This Caucasian synthesis is the sin that propagates the earth. Synthesis meaning deductive reasoning or combined or putting together or however you want to say it. Sin together, and pi root 1 to set up, put are related words, doom and sacrifice, the sacrificial lamb. You guys remember when Jesus went up on that mountain and then Satan was like, I'll give you all these lands if you just do an act of worship to me. Oh my God, I don't know what that means. With sin meaning moral wrongdoing, injury, mischief, enmity, guilt, and another word I can't read on my handwriting. So let me know what you think in the comment section. Where do Caucasians, white people, Anglo-Saxons come from? And like and subscribe and share this video with your friends and buy my book Quintessence, available for purchase on Amazon. Bye everything.